your job, the results is what they're going to be.
Well, why is it so important to you to clean up boxing? I mean, you've established yourself as the main man. You could make all your money and go on, but you seem to be really concerned about the sanctioning bodies, etc.
I mean, because I feel like, you know, in a business-wise, you say, okay, I get a sanctioning fee from Trout, I get a sanctioning fee from Mayweather, and I get a sanctioning fee from Canelo. It's not right. I don't mind paying my sanctioning fees like any other fighter. If I'm the champion, all this super champion stuff, I'm totally against it. You know, I honestly feel that Canelo is the WBC champion, and Floyd Mayweather is the WBA champion. I'm also the WBC champion at welterweight. You know, fair is fair, and he done his job against Trout. Like I said before, I thought the fight was a lot closer, but as far as, like I said before, steroids and enhancement drugs, we need to clean that up. We need to clean these judges and the scoring up. And like I said before, a lot of things we need to clean up in the sport. And
do you think that'll make it more popular? Do you think that brings it back into the mainstream, back into the focus a little bit more?
I think that, but one thing about Showtime, they're very, very positive. Whereas you got the commentators on the other side where you got fighters fighting that's representing the company and they talking negative about the fighter. So the only thing that can do is bring the sport down.
Well, do you think that the judges are dishonest or incompetent or both?
I mean, I think it's a little bit of favoritism sometimes. I'm saying, far as with, if you got a fighter that's from, we're gonna say just Kansas City, and you got a judge that's from Kansas. Of course, I think he's gonna lean a little bit towards the guy. The reason why is because it's not like this. Sometimes you got parents, and I talk about this all the time. See, me, I'm a little different from a lot of parents. If my child is in the wrong, I'm gonna tell my child, you're in the wrong. Whereas a lot of times, if a person's child is in the wrong, you tell them that your child is in the wrong, they don't like you to tell them that. Tell them that their child is in the wrong, and it's no different. It's kind of like favoritism because a lot of times people don't feel like their child could do anything wrong until they get in the system. And then they find out, you know what? My child was wrong.
Tim, you and Leonard and everybody here knows that you are the face of boxing. You're the man of boxing, and you talked about you don't get your due. How much similar to Ali is that? You think because of your personality, your religious beliefs, jealousy, you're African American? You know, why can't you get your due?
I think a lot of times I think people feel like a person is. I'm humble because I know my blessings come from when it's all said and done.
Good.
Humble has nothing to do with because a fighter is quiet. I think a lot of times fighters don't really want to say fighters don't speak up and say what they really want to say because they know they're not going to really take a bad lashing from the outcome if they really don't say too much before the fight. Whereas if a guy talks, if he speaks out and speak his honest opinion, give his honest opinion, there's going to be a lot of backlashing if he take a L.
Floyd, the last time you fought an undefeated fighter was Ricky Hatton. So, what challenges do you get from fighting a fighter who's never tasted defeat, or is hungrier than most?
I just feel like the thing with Floyd Mayweather is really not what a guy's record is, because if you really want to talk about it, Guerrero went back. He had a loss, but he went back and beat the guy, so we can say he was undefeated. So I don't really go in there looking at a guy's record because me myself, I can adapt and I can make adjustments. And so I feel like whatever a guy, whatever the best thing my opponent brings to the table, I feel like I can do it better.
Well, did you get a chance to watch the Guerrero fight?
No, I seen it a couple times. I could be better.
Champion.
Hold on.
Go ahead, brother.
You say you can be better? It was one of your best performances. What areas can you be better for this?
I know me, I'm my biggest critic. I feel
All right,
like
so-
it's
so-
always room for improvement.
Okay.
I would never tell you where I think I could be better at. I would never get that secret out.
Champ, you never fought in Madison Square Garden. Is that something you would eventually like to do?
As of right now, you know, we take one day at a time. I'm with the MGM, you know, as of right now, and we don't know what the future holds. But like I said before, we take one step at a time. It has always been one of my ultimate goals. Goals is to fight at the Madison Square Garden. Of course, I want to.
I said you were in the
Thanks,
same
Champ.
company as Sugar Ray Robinson, Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard. What would your comment be about that?
Say it again.
What would you say if I said to you that I see you as being part of a same company, same level as Ray Robinson, Ali, and Leonard? What do you say about that?
I just say, you know, I'm thankful to be mentioned amongst, you know, those great
In
fighters.
terms of style and everything, in many respects.
I mean, I feel like in the sport, when I look at the sport and I sit back and and analyze the sport, and I say, okay, you know, you know, I see Ali and he said he done the rope dope, but then, you know, you say, man, you know, I feel like I wish Ali could be in a better predicament at this particular time. So, of course, I can joke with him and have fun with him. And you know, Sugar Ray Leonard got detached retina. So, you know, you just look at a lot of abuse that these fighters have took. And I don't want to be in that same position taking that type of punishment. But Sugar Ray Leonard is still very articulate, and he's a legend. And Ali's a legend too. And I never really, you know, of course, you know, I seen the picture of Sugar Ray Robinson and my Uncle Roger, and the picture of Sugar Ray Robinson and my father, which when I was a kid, I didn't really know too much about Sugar Ray Robinson, because in my era, you know what I'm saying, when I was coming up, it was Larry Holmes and Michael Dokes and of course Cornell Whitaker, and I mean the list goes on and on. Because I can remember I can go so far back. The first fighter I ever seen die in the ring was Dooku Kim against Ray Boom Mancini in Caesar's Palace outside. And so I'm a student of the sport. Yeah, I was a student of the sport, but it's not like it was, you know, like now, like it was back then.
Floyd, in fights past, you might have spent 50% of press gathering like this talking about Pacquiao and you have a fight. Are you glad that, are you relieved that this is not talked about anymore? Are you disappointed that it's not on the table really anymore?
You know, like I said before, at this particular time, my focus is Canelo. You know, any fighter, you know, I guess, you know, you guys built Pacquiao up to this level and said that he was better than Floyd. That's what you guys did. You know what I'm saying? I'm not pointing no particular finger out at, and I said, you know,
Trying to get you
like I said before, I stay in my lane, and you know, and I'm pretty sure Pacquiao's gonna stay in his lane.